What's up, everybody? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button to the Hoops Tonight YouTube channel, and then follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter so you guys don't miss any of our content over the course of this season. All right, let's talk some basketball. So my number 8 was LeBron. I think LeBron is playing, if you strictly look at basketball played in this calendar year, 2024, I don't think anybody has played better basketball than LeBron other than Luka and Jokic. I think that his playoff series was magnificent in a way that is like actually kind of overlooked. Like, this is what, like, the 2 games where Jamal Murray hit the game winners, LeBron was awesome in both of those games in clutch time. Like, LeBron, if you would have said, hey, it's going to be a crunch time game and LeBron's going to hit these shots, you're like, oh, Lakers are winning this game. The problem was Denver scored on every single possession down the stretch. And a big part of that is they are playing 3 average to bad defensive players at all times because of their roster construct. They have Austin Reeves, who has no business guarding the opposing team's best perimeter star, guarding the other team's best perimeter star, right? Like, Michael Porter Jr. was absolutely cutting up Rui Hachimura in screen actions because he just wasn't paying attention and getting lost off the ball. Now, Rui had a bunch of other tough responsibilities, spent a bunch of time on Jokic. It was a tough series, but like, those guys were overmatched. And like, honestly, I thought LeBron was playing like true top tier superstar basketball in that first round series. And a couple of Jamal Murray buckets in a Denver offense that was unstoppable at the end of the game ended up being something that they couldn't overcome. But LeBron was playing at an insanely high level in the postseason run. He played at an insanely high level to end the regular season. And then with Team USA, like, just another wonderful example of just his overall versatility and like everything that makes LeBron such a Swiss Army knife. And so again, I think he's going to play 65 to 75 games this year. I think he's going to play hard and maybe half of them. So I think in terms of regular season production, in terms of overall two-way impact, he's probably close to the bottom of this list of 11. But in any high leverage moment, I still take LeBron over just about anybody in the world other than those guys at the very top. So I have him at number 8. Did you guys? Why don't you guys? Let's start with you, Logan. Tell me where you guys had LeBron ranked.
I have LeBron in my next spot at number 9, and I completely agree with what you just said. That's the big component to me. A playoff run, a playoff series, a big game, a big moment. There's only one guy I'm taking over LeBron, and that's Jokic. And that's just a testament to what he is. The rim pressure he can still exert on the game, the genius basketball IQ, the fact that, I think LeBron, I can't remember the stat exactly, but it was like he's the only guy to shoot 40% from behind the arc and like 70% at the rim or something ridiculous like that. Like, that's 40-year-old LeBron, man. That doesn't make any sense. Like, the fact that you're talking about the Denver series, the fact that he can go to basically a post-up against everybody, and it's one of the most efficient play types in all of basketball. The fact that you have to send a second defender or he's getting that shot off. The physical tools combined with the skills. Quick stat
for you guys, Logan, since you shouted it out. Among high-volume post-up players that ran at least 250 post-ups last year, LeBron was second in the league behind Jokic.
It's insane.
Incredible.
The physical tools combined with the basketball skill that he has, combined with the IQ, there's nobody else I would want in a big game playoff run. It's only the regular season component, just because I know LeBron physically cannot hold up to the physical toll that an 82-game season would take on him. I just know he's not going to exert himself physically the way I need my number 1, 2. So that's why he's down at number 9. It has nothing to do with ability whatsoever.
What about you, Carson?
I basically completely agree with Logan. I have LeBron at 9 as well, and it is because of the regular season effort and also regular season availability. This was LeBron's healthiest season in a while, but he's consistently been good to miss 25, 30 games a year over his seasons with the Lakers. So yeah, he's not going to carry you through a regular season in the same way that some of the consistently available, very high effort, younger players at the top of this list are, but he wouldn't be number 2 for me in a single game format. But I do think that he would probably be in my 5 spot. I still believe very, very deeply in the consistent offensive brilliance of LeBron. He's a top 3 transition scorer in basketball. He's an absolute freight train. He's a genius playmaker, and he just had the best jump shooting season of his career, which I think was huge to him having such a great postseason, such a brilliant regular season offensively. Like when he's a 40% 3-point shooter, when he's that effective, a spot up player, I mean, there's just not anything approaching a hole in his game offensively. He's probably the most versatile offensive player in basketball. And when he wants to be still an above average defender, still very good hands, still very smart, good defensive rebounder, an above average low man, I wouldn't call him a good defender in totality because there's so many instances in which the effort and the focus just isn't there. But again, if we're talking
not
about
in the
one
regular
game,
season, yeah, not in the regular season. He's LeBron is a bad defender in the regular season.
Absolutely.
Because the problem too is the Lakers constantly ask him to play that low man position behind Anthony Davis, and that's like a position you have to play hard.
Yes,
and like LeBron will just be like, I'll just concede this layup on the roll because I just feel like taking this possession off. Like, but he's also one of the best at it when you need him to be. You know what I mean? So like that's the how do you quantify that? You know?
Yeah. Well, that's very much the story with LeBron, right? We know that he's not going to be the regular season performer of these other guys, but we know in a high stakes situation, like he's still among the absolute best of the best. And the fact that that is still possible at 40 years old, that he's going to be this season, I mean, it's just unfathomable. We've never seen anything like it. You know, Kareem, incredible longevity. Karl Malone, incredible longevity. We've never seen somebody playing at the level where you say, yeah, in a high stakes scenario, like they would be one of the first 5 dudes or even first 10 dudes that I would take off the board at 40 years old. It's unthinkable.
So a couple of quick LeBron stats before we move on. So his final 22 games of the regular season, that's post All-Star break. So LeBron post All-Star break, 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists. 58% from the field, 45% from 3.
Ridiculous.
That's 67% true shooting. Like that is absolutely outrageous. He shot 4 for 5 in clutch situations in the Denver series and somehow lost both games. And like what's crazy too is like he was hitting like tough contested mid-range pull-up. Like he was hitting like superstar shots too. Like he looked like playing like at that top tier superstar level. It just wasn't enough with that particular team. And I think, you know, so much talk around the Lakers. That's one of the most common takes that I get is like, oh, if LeBron's at 8 and AD's at 6, how were they a playing team? And it's like, well, they had that 3-10 stretch, which obviously kind of nuked their regular season. But also I thought the Lakers were good last year. I mean, they literally had 17 wins against teams in the top 10 in point differential that tied the Celtics for the most in the league. Like I thought they did as good a job against Denver as you can do in a loss as you can do. You know, if that was a couple of Jamal Murray shots away from being a much longer and more of a coin flip type of series. Like
and LeBron and AD were both great in that series. I mean, AD was the best offensively that we've seen him easily since the bubble. LeBron was brilliant. Like it was just an all-time disaster class from the role players, and there's issues in roster construction, as you mentioned, but I understand how it seems counterintuitive. I also don't understand how you can actually watch and disagree that these are 2 top 10 players. Like they just are. Watch how LeBron dominates the game offensively and impacts it defensively when it matters. Watch AD as, again, the best defensive player on the planet and a brilliant offensive player. The efficiency, the physical imposition from both of them, like they do their job. They play at an extremely high level. The team around them just isn't what it needs to be. And also they've played the Denver Nuggets the last 2 years in the playoffs, and that's a really tough draw.
It's like anybody who watched that series and came away thinking LeBron and AD aren't good enough, I just don't know how you could think. Like if you watch that series, It was so abundantly clear what was happening. It was like Austin's their dude. Austin's the one guy they know they can count on. He's like a real player. And by the way, that he's doing what he's doing offensively while shouldering the lead point of attack defensive role, which is something he has no business fucking doing, and he's doing it. And like if you watch it, it's like, oh, we all have known D'Lo's a bad playoff performer forever. Well, guess what? He bageled in the must-win game back in Los Angeles when they needed him, right? Like that's to be expected. That's the D'Angelo Russell experience. And then one of the biggest matchup swings of that series was Michael Porter Jr. outplayed Rui to such a dramatic extent, it was impossible to overcome. Like I actually thought because Jamal Murray was so bad, other than the 2 shots, I actually thought LeBron and AD outplayed Jokic and Murray. Now, I would say it was closer to even just because of those two Murray shots. Like, say what you want about Jamal. Those two shots he hit were just unbelievable shots. But LeBron and AD did their part to make that series a real series, and the other guys got their ass kicked. Because guess what? The other guys are better. If you told me going into that series, who do you like? Do you like KCP, Aaron Gordon, and Michael Porter Jr., or Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, or Rui Hachimura? Who you taking? I mean, it's not rocket. It's not rocket series. It's not rocket science.